London on the Track didn't immediately end things with his partner that he was in a relationship with. He didn't immediately end things with them. He had to slowly ease himself out of that relationship. But Summer Walker is very accepting. And I get that she accepted that their relationship was non-committal at first and very much non-conventional. But I don't think she ever saw herself as a side chick. I very much think that Summer Walker saw herself as a homegirl, a friend. She knew that they had something going on, and if it accelerated to something, no, if it metamorphosized into something more than that, then she was okay with it. But at the same time, I don't get that she was like sitting around plotting to take London on the Track from his partner that he was in a relationship with. But I do feel like let's put it this way. London on the Track, I feel like he's still stepping out on her. I still feel like there's definitely some bed hopping. So yeah. They're in a relationship. I mean, I get that energy from them. They're in a relationship. They are in a relationship. Okay, so the next question that we have for Summer Walker and London on the Track is, we're going to ask, is she making a mistake mixing business with pleasure? And then we're going to figure out, why did she and her ex break up? Because they're saying, people told me that she had an ex-boyfriend that she was in a bad relationship with. So, and when I'm saying people, I'm talking about my student, Tiana. Tiana, you told me that. All right, so. Is she making a mistake mixing business with pleasure? And as you can see, we don't really need to pull more cards. Absolutely. She is making a mistake. The Knight of Wands indicates that, okay, she's overstepping a lot of boundaries with this gentleman because he's all about the dollar. He's all about making money. Okay, he's not some, London on the Track is not someone that is going to be able to give up. He's someone that's difficult to compromise with in relationships. And he does better in business. And especially because he feels like he's the reason for her success and that they have this chemistry where they need to continue working together. I get this Stevie J and Jocelyn-esque relationship where they feel like they're a power couple, that even if things are dysfunctional, we have to continue working through things because we can make a lot of money together. They would be better off just keeping things strictly business, but she doesn't want to just keep things strictly business. There's a wave of emotions that she's very attracted to men that are smart, men that whose minds are creatively geared towards making her more sophisticated. She's someone that likes to mind fuck a man. And so she loves making music and she loves what they have going on. So she's not really willing to give that up, but she is making a mistake by mixing business with pleasure. Let's see what the consequences of those things are. What do you all think the consequences are going to be? What do you all predict? She's going to get her heart broken because things are going to come out that he's cheating on her. That there's another woman, and this woman is not a musician. I don't think that this woman is a musician. But I do feel like there is another woman that he is dealing with, and this is going to break her heart. And I feel like this is where things start to take a turn, where there's this magic that these two have together, where he genuinely understands her vocal range. He genuinely understands what she wants to, what she's trying to. The messages that she's trying to send in her music, and I feel that I feel that it's gonna be difficult for her to find another producer that can help her to imbue what she's trying to imbue in her music. I get there's things are working for her right now, and that chemistry is going to be difficult to replace. So she needs to not take things personal when it comes to business. Don't end up like Sierra and produce your best music with your nigga and then, fall off because he was cheating. And then your music sound like romantic comedy music. All right, so with that being said, they're saying that Summer Walker is a very fortunate person, that she's going to continue having a fan base and an audience. People are still gonna support her. That she has a natural talent that is, I see it as like, the Princess of Cups here with the Queen of Cups. It's like she has an unlimited range of inspiration, right? Especially with this Wheel of Fortune being here, talking about her being someone that is being someone that has a lot to share. She's very giving with the things that she's inspired by, and someone that embodies that musical inspiration. So her fan base will continue to grow. People will continue to follow her. I get that she's a suitable inspiration for the universe to use. So that she's going to continue being the muse of the time for right now, regardless of if she deals with him or not. But they're saying that her emotional health is what's at stake, because he lies to her. But he lies to her just to keep her mind from spiraling downward into just constantly asking questions about where things going, where things headed. And he wants her to just really focus on the music, right? And that, because he's like, look, let's make the money. That's what we do well together. We're making this money. That's okay. We're getting to it. All right. So now we want to know, why did she and that ex break up? Why did she and her ex break up? Why did she and the ex break up? All right, the Hierophant. So this is about marriage. So they weren't married, but maybe this gentleman was married. But it's not also just about marriage. It's also about extreme rules and restrictions. So she jumped from one abusive relationship to the next. Okay, so London on the Tracks, I get that he's abusive in a way that's like mental manipulation, like lying to her and manipulating her expectations, because he knows that she's someone that loves to be in love. But with these cards, these are talking about this is like actual physical abuse. All right, so let's see. What was going on in their relationship? Why did they break up? A Two of Clubs. The Six of Hearts. A Six of Spades. All right. So this is saying that they never could reconcile on an emotional and a spiritual level with each other, right? So this is saying that they, I get that it was difficult for them to be consistent with each other, like in terms of their words meeting their actions, right? So it's about making promises, saying that I'm going to call you at this time and you never call me, saying that you love me when you don't express the feelings that you love me, saying that you're going to go out on this date with me and you didn't even take me out on this date. And I also get that this guy had a violent attitude towards her as well. So it's like she felt the relationship was toxic, but she's also someone that she moves using her intuition and based off of what feels right for her. And so she's not going to leave a relationship alone until she's like, I feel like I've learned my lesson. I feel like the spirits are telling me that the relationship is done. The other thing that I'm saying here is that I think that this gentleman had a baby or was about to have a baby. He definitely has a child now. This is also to say that there was jealousy between she and him, where he felt he was upset that she was smarter than she was smarter than him. And I also see him trying to derail her career plans as well, feeling in him not really taking her seriously as a musician, feeling like he felt like she had a lot of talent, but he didn't affirm that from her. Um, she's someone that, I also get that she's someone that, like, she used to talk a lot. I get that she was very talkative up until, that relationship. I feel that she's allowing the damage from this bad relationship to silence her voice. I don't know if she has issues speaking up for herself in relationships, but I feel like when she does speak up for herself, there's this very wild and very aggressive outburst, and she's bursting with anger because she is thinking about the times that she wasn't able to stand up for herself or speak up, the times that she swallowed her pride and then swallowed her voice at the same time. And she's like, look, I'm not going to be Ariel from The Little Mermaid, bitch. I'm finna talk, okay? I want my motherfucking legs back, okay? I want my legs and my voice, all right? So with hers is Jack of Hearts. I get that she spent a lot of time in servitude in a relationship and letting it go. She just had to walk away from it because he wasn't finna let it go. He was not gonna let it go. So she just had to leave it alone. These cards are saying that. I've learned that people who have mental illnesses, sometimes those mental illnesses, like bipolar disorder, for example, that mental illness can be developed just from experiencing the trauma of a bad relationship like this. So I get that she had to leave this relationship alone because it was damaging her emotional health, and then it started to trigger these very quick temperamental spasms. I guess, like, she just these outbursts, especially outbursts of anger, really high highs and low lows, and she just had to let it go. So that's what I see here. Okay, so we're gonna do even more about Summer Walker. We got more of Summer Walker coming at y'all, coming for you. Don't worry. All right, so now we want to know: is her awkwardness in her interviews fake, or does she have real social anxiety? And did she use magic to obtain her success? So, is her awkwardness real? Is her awkwardness real? The Wheel of Fortune. This card isn't really telling me that much, right? Because what I'm getting from this is that, like, things change. There's an ebb and flow with her. Like, I get that maybe she is socially anxious, but then sometimes she's not. I think that there's something that's a little bit ingenuine about her promotion of her social anxiety. Because this card is saying that, like, I don't know, like, this card is like, this is like, this is mischievous, right? I just don't, it's something that's mischievous about this. It's like, I feel like she's oversharing in a way. Like, sometimes she overshares certain parts of her story or over embellishes things in her story to make up, to like, defend herself. I get that there's a sort of victimization. There's a sort of victimization that comes with her in her explanations of her behavior. But there's real social anxiety. She has a real social anxiety. I get that she feels like with this Three of Wands here, that's the most important card that I'm seeing, right? This card is like indicating that she's always like, she has a hard time focusing on things. She can be a greedy person. And when I say greedy, I mean it's in terms of like, she's always wanting more. She's always wanting more, like, in terms of like spiritual experiences, and she takes on too much. Like, I want to be a musician. I want a relationship. I want to eat this cupcake. I want to be really thin. I want to promote this. I want to learn about spirituality. And she wants to do all these things at once. And I feel like there is an overload. Like, there's a literal overload. Like, she's someone that needs to pace herself one thing at a time. And I feel like she juggles too many projects. And sometimes people can get emotionally overwhelmed because they're like, look, I'm really tired and I have compassion fatigue and I just can't. Compassion fatigue, as my student Dwayne Rogers helped me to categorize that concept, because he introduced me to that concept. I already knew definitively what compassion fatigue was, but I just could never had the label for it. But anyway, that being said, I'm saying that her compassion fatigue, like, she doesn't exactly have that. The sort of fatigue that she has is fatigue that's like that's more like mental, always having to be compassionate towards herself, like always having to explain herself to other people, and never and she's someone that people would tell her that they're like, look, you're wrong, you live your life in the wrong way, and she might say, you know what, you're right, I do live my life in the wrong way. I feel like now she's learned to say, you know what, you're wrong, I live my life in the right way, I don't live my life in the wrong way, you live your life in the wrong way. And she may overdo it. And she may say, you know what, you live your life in the wrong way because you don't understand me. You're not intelligent enough to understand what it is that I have come to figure out about myself. You didn't know that I was a Uranus moon and a Beyonce sun. And so that meant that, bitch, I was a shit. But you didn't know that I was a shit. You tried to bury me, but bitch, you didn't know I was a seed. And I grew because I was a motherfucking beanstalk. Now I'm a Nene Leaks. I'm a giant. I'm at the top of this beanstalk, bitch. I'm motherfucking Megan Thee Stallion, bitch. And I have social anxiety. And that's why I'm sitting here rambling. I feel like that is what I'm getting from this. Because it's a Wheel of Fortune, so it's like it's social anxiety, but it's also a well-informed and very self-aware social anxiety too. One that could be better controlled. And I feel like, I guess I'm just saying it. No, does she? Well, I guess this is what I'm. What are her coping mechanisms with her social anxiety? That's not the devil. Drinking, alcohol, liquor. I just said liquor was drinking. And love relationships. But a lot of her anxiety spawns out of like arguments that happen with men. I get that she's got a brother that she argues with a lot too. Anyway, so the other question that we had was, does she use her magic? Did she use magic to obtain her success? Hit the, put a $sign in the comments if you use magic to get a job, I get that she's tried, but it hasn't exactly worked. I get that she's tried, but it hasn't worked. And my students know what I'm talking about. I feel like a lot of her success comes through her ancestors. I feel like her destiny was to be successful, but I don't feel like she's amassed her success because of magic. Like, this was going to happen for her regardless. And I get this. There's some things that are off about her magic, too. It's just like, I feel like she's the sort of person whom she does magic, and then she'll go and get a reading and ask, I did some magic. What are going to be the effects of it? And it's like, the effects of the magic are what you intended for them to be. Like, what did you intend for this? What were your intentions? What did you pray? Let me see your prayers. Let me look in your grimoire to see what you wrote down. Like, what did you intend for the effects to be? What were the ingredients that you used? Did the ingredients correspond to the actual things that it could? Did the ingredients that you used correspond to the intentions of the spell? Was it clearly defined? I get that she's one of those people. So I don't feel like her career is built off of magic, to be honest with you. I get that she's definitely used magic. It's working and it hasn't worked. But she was going to be successful regardless. And no, she did not use magic to get with London on the track. I feel like that's just karma. Past life, when things play out, this is just science, okay? It's just the science of her past life, okay? The science of her past life. Now we're going to ask this question, which is, how is she adjusting to her success and how does she feel about it? So how is Summer Walker adjusting to her success? How is Summer Walker to success? Okay. So on one hand, Summer Walker's looking back at her haters from when she was little, and she's like, "Look, bitch, I told you I was gonna be successful, and I made it. I did it. I did that shit." And I get that there is a part of her that's like flexing, that's like really flexing and just like owning up to that she's successful. She's like, "Look, I look good. I made it. I've done it, and those girls that I'm better than the girls that I grew up with." Like, she is really proud of herself. I get that she was teased a lot when she was young, but I also get that she did have a group of homegirls that really liked her, so I don't get that she was bullied and just completely ostracized. But she's very happy that her hard work is paid off. And she's like, "Oh, praises to my ancestors." If she even says ancestors. But I get that she's like, look, she knew that she was determined, okay? She's like, look, through strategic cooperation with the universe and me being the phenomenal artist that I am, I get that she's very much inspired by, I don't know why I feel like she's inspired by Erykah Badu. I don't know why I'm saying her name, but Erykah Badu she probably don't even know who Erykah Badu is. I don't know, but I get Erykah Badu. I hear that. But she's like, on one hand, she's just like, with the success that I've amassed, it's worth it because she can now distinguish herself from the girls that she used to grow up with. But at the same time, I'm saying here with this King of Coins, this is all about the money for her. So she's like, making this amount of money is bittersweet, right? Because it's like money comes and money goes. You can have it, and it can go, But for her, I get that she's also like comparing herself to her competition. Like this King of Coins is like the card of comparison, which is interesting because like the King of Coins corresponds to the King of Diamonds. The King of Diamonds likes to see things only but one way, which is why the King of Diamonds has only one eye showing in the playing cards. But this King of Coins sees things from all directions, right? So she's looking back in her past and she's like, look, I can see all them bitches that used to hate on me listening to my music, and then like they don't want to listen to my music and you hearing it on the radio. But then at the same time, she's looking at her competition and she's like, well, how do I continue with this success? Like, who do I collaborate with? Like, where does this next hit come from? How do I what else is coming for me? Because she doesn't want the momentum to stop. She knows it's not going to stop. But at the same time, her biggest vice is going to be like, how can I... with all that being said, the main thing she asks herself, how can I have a baby and get married to London on the track? At this time, that's what she's mainly concerned about. All right. So I want to thank you all for tuning in to the reading produced by Black Spectrum Network. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell button to get the latest updates on this channel. If you want to receive these and other videos at least 1 week ahead of their YouTube release date, then subscribe to our Patreon at www.blackspectrumnetwork.com. We offer online courses that teach how to do tarot, create magical potions, and how to work with your ancestors, deities, and African Diaspora experience. Visit the Shrine of Black Epistemology at blackepistemology.com. If you like mentorship with me or one of our staff, book a mentorship consultation on our website at www.blackspectrumnetwork.com. We live in a time where the celebration and supernatural metamorphosis of our Black excellence is more than a form of resistance to globalized white supremacy. Your journey does not end here. Make your next move your best move. I now leave you with these words of wisdom. from the rapper Dreezy. Gave mercy to these hoes. What would Jesus do? I'm your reader, Nexo, and remember, the truth is always collaborative. Thanks for watching.
So fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. Cause when we're here, there's nothing better than the skyline view. Ooh.